Hello, and welcome back to some Dawnbringer Tarot today, again with your host Carmilla, per usual. And as usual, we have our week ahead reading. So we have a very interesting web today, 4 piles per usual. We actually have some new cards to look at today too. So I actually bought the Unicorn Oracle deck. I bought the big ones. I found them, so I'm really excited about that. And then I actually have a new deck, the New Visions Tarot, where everything is turned backward or reverse, so it's really cool. So before we hop into our piles today, please stick with me for the web so we can get into the collective energies, because a lot of times, because we're all interdependent, interconnected, there's a collective message that ties in really well with your actual personal message, or the general message actually, that can make it feel a lot more personal to you or for you. So let's get into that. So the first card we're going to look at today is our Unicorn Oracle, and the card we have for the collective today is Awareness. Live in the moment. Be conscious of your thoughts. Look for signs and guidance. I love this card so much for the collective message, especially with some of the other cards that we have. So our chakra that's being focused on today for the collective, or our collective chakra for this week, is the root chakra with courage and faith. And I feel like this root chakra energy is somehow working with the crown or like third eye chakra too. There's some mingling going on there. But we have courage and faith for this week. So I feel very guided to read this portion here. I embrace the warrior within me. I remind myself to be a warrior, not a warrior. I am not a victim. This is beautiful energy. And go ahead and pause that at any time so that you can read that full card. We also have the Archangel messages today, and I hope to get the big cards on these too, but I don't have them yet, but we'll keep using the ones we have. And we have Divine Order with Archangel Raguel, with everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see underlying order. So I feel like that is going to hit right for a lot with what's coming through these personal messages. These general messages today. Let me stop saying personal, because they're not personal, they're general. You take what you need to take and you leave the rest for other people who need to take what you don't need. So it's all about sharing this collective energy. So we also have a Law of Ma'at this week. Every pile got one before our collective message. We have I spread joy, which is really beautiful, and I feel very called to elaborate on this a little bit. Joy means you shine your inner light. Joy means you are your natural self. Joy means that you're being yourself, you're smiling. And the people who find joy in you being you, that's who you're spreading it to. You're not falsifying anything. You're not being fake in order to spread some type of false joy or something like that. You're being who you need to be, and the people who love you and your delicious flavor are going to be there to receive you. So spread joy to the people you love this week and the people who love you and receive you. And then our power animal for this week, we actually have a turtle in reverse, which is really interesting because we also have the root chakra. So the turtle in reverse typically talks about not being a victim, releasing victimhood. Victim is coming through this week, especially with this equinox energy, and we're in Aries season. So Aries season is all about, confrontation, taking stuff by the horns, like really springing into action and doing things like taking your power back and knowing that the power is in you. It's not in anybody else. It's not in what somebody else thinks or what somebody else is doing or how somebody else is doing it. This is about you. So the imagery that pops up in my head, and it comes from the book too, is like this tortoise or this turtle on its back, and is just lying in the middle of the road, waiting somebody to flip it over. Meanwhile, while it's waiting, it could be trying to right itself, its own self. And a lot of times turtles and tortoises can actually right themselves. I've seen it happen. Right themselves without help. Typically you would want to help them if there is help. So please don't think that you don't have any support. You're always going to have support. You don't have to worry about that at all. But there's always that putting in the effort to right yourself, to get yourself back on track and in the right direction. You're not a victim to your circumstances. Things are just not happening to you willy-nilly. There's actually an underlying order to the way that the world is operating. Everything is helping you evolve. Everything is helping you grow, is if you're willing to see it that way. And sometimes it's hard to see it that way when you go through challenging experiences in life. So that brings me to our next card, which is the Four of Pentacles, because I actually did get a collective tarot card, a healing card for all of us. So the Four of Pentacles is speaking here with you literally have the entire world in front of you while you're holding on to the past, holding on to what you think you know, holding on to beliefs, holding on to what you think is right, holding on to, it's like it feels like a very selfish energy because you're holding on to things that are keeping you separate from who you truly are and what you want to be and what you actually want to obtain. So I say selfish because you're holding so tightly onto these things. It's funny because the next card after this is the Five of Pentacles, which is lack consciousness. But you're holding so tightly onto these things that you think make you, that you think make you a better person, that you think make you who you are, that you think, make you likable, that you think make you successful, blah, 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 blah. You're holding on to these things, but you literally have the entire world, a lush, abundant world in front of you where you can make more of these pentacles. These are not just things, these are not just things that you come across willy-nilly, or things that you come across and you'll never be able to obtain again. Let me tell you, in tarot, this character, the Four of Pentacles, is going to lose every single one of those pentacles and more and still gain it all back. Because where do we end up? We end up as the King of Pentacles, as the one who the King and Queen of Pentacles, actually the birther, the giver, the provider, the nurturer of the pentacle, the one that can create the pentacle. So trust and understand that on this journey there will be things that you're going to have to release so that you can obtain something grander, but knowing that this is also part of the journey too, of this obtaining something grander. So I feel like for a lot of our energy this week, it's releasing this victimhood, releasing this need to be right, releasing this need to be wrong, releasing this need to save everyone, releasing this need to save yourself and live your life and heal, and allow life to heal you, allow experience to heal you, allow yourself to gain wisdom through all of your challenging experiences. Allow yourself to actually be in joy when you're having, happy experiences that feel pleasant and that feel good. Actually allow yourself to experience the wave of life, besides thinking that you have to trudge through it and that, happy times are just fleeting. So you're not a victim to life. You're not a victim to even your circumstances, really, even though that it's hard to embody that with some of the stuff that you're going through as a human. And what you're going to go through as a human is going to teach you a lot about what it is to be a human, so that you can offer this, this freedom throughout your own self and to people in your own life, this wisdom. But for right now, what you're learning how to do this week is unclutch your pearls with the Four of Pentacles. So really, really excited to hop into these readings. So for our piles today, we have carnelian on pile 1. It's a really cool little chunk of carnelian. Pile 2, we have our spotted, or our Dalmatian jasper. Pile 3, we have this very beautiful clear piece of citrine. Really potent energy coming through these crystals today. And then we have this chunk of Sugnite. I know it sounds funny, but on pile 4. So go ahead and do whatever witchy thing you need to do in order to get you in the mood for your reading, and I, my friend, will see you there. Hello, group 1. For all of our friends who chose the carnelian for your reading this week, this will be your messages. So let's take your power animal. We'll slide your oracle cards to the side and get into those later, and see what power animal you have working with you this week with this energy of awareness, courage and faith, divine order, and releasing of victimhood. So you have you have armadillo with boundaries. So the armadillo typically always talks about some form of a boundary or a protection of self. So I see that it's just like really like blatant. It's very like plain and simple. What you're learning how to do this week is better enforce your boundaries. You're working with boundary alchemy, boundary type energy. And the reason why you're working through this is because this is not an easy energy to work through. Boundaries come with working through a lot of past trauma. It comes with a lot of shadow work. It comes with a lot of releasing of ideas. It comes with a lot of releasing of validation. It comes with a lot of releasing of the need to have the approval of others. This comes with the energy of self-trust, inner knowing, inner validation, just an immense amount of self-love and self-care. This is, this is knowing that you don't need anybody else's approval to be who you are and to be the person in this life that you were designed to be, who you naturally are. So this is placing boundaries. This is making sure that you have boundaries not only for other people's behavior, but for your behavior as well. Also making sure that you have boundaries with stuff that you may be receiving from others. So especially if you're someone who you would consider yourself intuitive, if you're like a channeler, tarot reader, or just someone who's very spiritual, this is also having boundaries with some of the messages that you're receiving, always making sure that they are benefiting your life in a positive way. And if it is something negative, you can always tap into it and ask it, is this shadow work? Is this an aspect of me asking to be healed? Or is this an aspect of me trying to attack me, to belittle me, to redirect me or take me off of the course that my life is currently on, or like this course of healing? Is this something that's trying to derail me? There it is, derail me. So yeah, I feel like this week group one, I feel like you have the energy, the spirit of Armadillo actually coming in to support you, coming in to help you, kind of lend you some of its armor this week, because it seems like it's trying to protect your inner soft shell. And a lot of times what people will say, or people think like, oh, if I'm protecting something soft or tender, that means I'm weak because I'm not exposing my true self or whatever. You are exposing your true self. And part of exposing your true self is also protecting your true self. Not everybody deserves every piece of you. That's just it. That doesn't mean that you're not being authentic. That doesn't mean that you're not being vulnerable. That doesn't mean that you're not being blah, 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 whatever you think. Really, the truth of the matter is not everybody should be allowed to have access to every part of you. There are going to be some people who are allowed to have access to this piece of you, some people there, some people this, some people that. You're figuring out who those people are and what parts of you you're allowing people to have access to, and what people just need to exit, find their way to the exit. You know what I'm saying? Because the energy is extremely potent and extremely powerful for you. This is also for you personally too. What habits and behaviors are benefiting you, and what needs to find the exit? This is also honoring the cycle of life and death, as in allowing things within your energetic field, within your range, within your life to die out, so that it can go to where it needs to go, so that it can come back to this plane in its most radiant form, in its most beneficial form. When you hold on to things that have died and that can no longer serve you or benefit you, this is what becomes toxic. Why? Because it's rotting, it's dead, it is toxic, it is poisonous, because you're holding on to something that no longer serves, it no longer benefits life or the living. So when you let it go, you allow it to transition. And when it's allowed to transition, it's allowed to go through refinement. When it goes through refinement, it's allowed to return and be processed, so that it can return in its highest light, in its highest form, in its highest radiance. You see what I'm saying? So again, just to reiterate, when you hang on to things that are dead, that is what becomes toxic. When you let them go, that's when when karma can actually do its job. When karma can make this checks and balances, this return. Does that make sense? That's when the returns can be made, is when you let go. So that's why there has to be that balance there. There has to be a balance there. I feel like too, for you, group one, that there are going to be a lot of you realizing your dreams, realizing what's real for you, realizing what you actually want to obtain in this life, actually realizing oh, this is actually what I want to do. This is actually the person I want to be. This is not the person I was told that I want to be, or that my parents said, or my siblings, or my friends, or my boss, or whatever. This is who I want to be. This is you getting in touch with who you are, authentically who you naturally are as a human being, and not what other people are telling you you should be in order to be this way or be that way. So this is beautiful energy. And again, I honestly feel like Armadillo is actually coming in this week for you and actually lending you some of its armor. So if you are going through an experience where, sorry about the phone, but if you are having experiences in your life currently, especially this week coming up, and it's testing your boundaries and testing your capacity, what you can take and what you can't take, testing your tolerance, I honestly would say call on Armadillo, because Armadillo is going to be right there for you, ready to offer up its armor to support you and help you, so that you can better navigate your yes and better navigate your no when that comes from for your behavior and other people's behavior, for your truth and other people's truth, so that you can know what it means to truly differentiate. So you'll know the difference between what's true for someone else, and you'll know what's true for you, and you can see where there are differences, and you can honor your own truth and still allow other people to honor their truth as well. So it's very, very good energy I see for you this week, group one. So let's go ahead and shuffle some tarot out. We got a new deck today, so I'm really excited. Let's see what else Armadillo has in store for you. Armadillo is such a powerful spirit that's coming through for you this week. They're just like, you need me, I got you. So what else? We have the Hermit. Yep. So we have the New Vision Tarot. So they're all turned like backwards. It's really cool. This is the Hermit saying, like, this is self-dedication. This is you dedicating time to your own experience, to your own radiance. This is not about what other people need from you or what you think other people need. What other people need is between themselves, spirit, and their higher selves. That's it. It has nothing to do with you. And it's funny because I was literally just having a conversation like this. It has nothing to do with you. The Hermit's coming through so strong. Ooh, look, we have the World showing out too. Like the Hermit's coming so strong and saying, what other people are experiencing, you've experienced in some way too. And this is what drives you to feel like you have to save them. You're like, I know what you're going through. I can save you. I can fix you. I can save you. I can fix you. And really, the beauty in life is allowing people to save and fix themselves and just helping people along the way. Like you can try and offer, you can try and do. What I like to say is you can influence, you can inspire, but you cannot change, you cannot do for others, especially what you're not willing to do for yourself. So the Hermit is coming through and saying, whatever you have going on in your life is between you, your higher self, and spirit. You know, you commune with your spiritual team, with your inner self, your own self. That's between you and spirit. And that same notion goes for other people. Whatever other people have going on in their life, that's between them and spirit. It's none of your business. And your life is none of their business either. And how life is treating you and what is going on in your life, it's none of their business. You know what I'm saying? They don't have anything to do with it. Ooh. And then we have the Hierophant, coming through. I honestly feel like that's a confirmation from Spirit. Spirit's coming through like, yes, I am here. Whatever you have going on is between me and you. Whatever they have going on is between me and them. And then our last card, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Exactly. Listen. And then we have the Page of Pentacles for the bottom deck, which is so interesting with the Four of Pentacles actually being our overall frequency for the collective, plus with this message of, like, you know, broadening like what you can actually obtain because you're returning to your natural self. And I feel like that's exactly what this page is saying. And I like how right under that we have the devil. And the devil like usually talks about like our vices and also our luxuries, are what makes life feel pleasurable for us and what makes it not. So this is so beautiful to have the Knave out here, the Page of Pentacles, because I honestly feel like the Page is saying like, listen, be who you naturally are. It does not matter. Like, free yourself from this conditioning, which, you know, the devil talks a lot about conditioning too. Free yourself from this conditioning that makes you think that you have to be a certain way in order to be good enough. You have to be a certain way to be spiritual enough. You have to be a certain way to be this enough. Like, release this notion of enough. Because at all moments, at all times, you are enough for a spirit. It doesn't matter. Other people are enough for spirit. You're enough for a spirit. It doesn't matter if you're throwing a tantrum, if you're crying, if you're happy, if you're sad, if you're mad, if you're feeling judgmental and bitey, if you're feeling gracious and you're giving out compliments. It does not matter where you are in your life. You're always enough for spirit. So release this notion of enough. You're always enough. You always have something to offer the world. And when your journey is done, you will transition. But right now, your journey is not done. Your journey has just begun. So allow these transitions and these shifts to happen in your life. And with this allowance, that means that you are putting in place boundaries that are protective of your own self, your own time, and your own energy, and your own natural self, who you are as a person. We don't care who you were conditioned to be in the third grade. We don't want that. We want your natural radiance, your natural person, the natural you, not the one that's tied to the past, not the one that wants to be this for this other person or this job or that job. We want you, the natural radiant being that is you. What truth comes from you? What knowledge, what ancient wisdom comes from you as a being, not where you were conditioned to be. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like this week you're actually going to start like realizing that, like having this kind of like epiphany type energy, or like this understanding, like, no, I don't have to be the person with the best reviews. I don't have to be the perfect person. Sorry about the phone again, but anyway, you were brought to this life to be you, your natural you, who you were, what you like, what you dislike. What truth comes from you? Because when you honor this truth, that's when you really can hone in on the clarity and what it means to be in the flow of divine order. This means that you have submitted to the divine that is within you. The divine that's within you will not speak the same as the divine that's within your mom or your dad or your sister or your brother or your grandma or your friend or your favorite celebrity. The language will not be the same. Why? Because we live in a world of variation, of beauty, of options. That's why if everybody had the same language or the same order or the same likes and dislikes, this life would be so dull. It would be so boring. It wouldn't be fun. You wouldn't like being here. So the reason why there's so much variation, why you have plants that like the desert and plants that like the rainforest, because they found out what is beneficial to them, what feeds them, where they find optimal joy, optimal sustainability, and that's where they reside. What feels right to you? What feels natural to you? When you understand what feels right and what feels natural to you, that's when you'll fully step into your divine order, and everything will honestly unfold from there. Honestly, I'm not seeing anything different. Step into your own divinity, group one. Step into what's true for you, because you have something beautiful to offer the world, and you will not touch this offer until you're ready to be who you really are as a person. I don't care how many tarot readings you watch, how many motivational videos you watch. If you are not being true to who you are as a person and what feels right and true, what feels true to you, then you're never going to get to that place. And I say never very lightly, because I feel like you are going to get to that place. Look at the cards we have out here. We have literally 3 major arcanas. This is a huge energy for you, huge week for you. And you are this Knave of Pentacles, making your way to embody the feminine essence of the Queen of Pentacles, making your way to embody the masculine essence of the King of Pentacles. This is you. This is you making your way. You have something to offer. You have something to produce. You have something to give to the world. The Hermit hermit literally is holding your radiance in this lantern and shining it out to the world. You know what I'm saying? This is you. This energy is all you. What you're learning how to do is just place boundaries. Listen, even in religion, God has placed boundaries. You know, thou shalt not blah, thou shalt not blah. You know, so that's in a religious space. So this is you finding your own commandments. You know, this is you finding your own truth, what is right for you, which is going to look different on other people, and that's okay. Right now, I honestly feel like the wheels are turning for you. Life is changing for you. You are stepping into this amount of clarity. Please, I cannot stress this enough. If you are going through an experience this week and you feel like your boundaries are being infringed upon, or they're not being respected, or you feel like you need to place a boundary somewhere, or you need to relax a little bit on a certain boundary, when it comes to yourself or other people, please call on the spirit of Armadillo. I honestly say sit down, or even just stand and breathe and just imagine the energy of an armadillo just wrapping itself up in your energy. You will feel better, and you will feel a lot more protected, and you will feel like you can get through this easier if you are willing to receive that and take that in. But I feel like you will. I feel like this is something you're willing to do for you, because you feel like you're someone who wants to protect your peace, and what you're doing is going through the motions so that you can learn what protecting your peace looks like. How would you know how to protect your own peace if you didn't know what that looked like? So that's exactly what you're doing. You're learning how to protect your own peace so that going forward you can protect your peace. You know how, you know what medicine goes where, you know how to apply the salve, you know how to apply the boundaries, you know how to apply your yes, you know how to apply your no. Your vision in your future is beautiful. This Wheel of Fortune is giving off the most beautiful energy, some of the most beautiful energy I've ever felt. So honestly, and it's like really in the heart space. So I honestly feel like you're good, you're fine. But what you're really going through right now is just learning how to be your natural you, and protecting that natural you, and having peace and protecting that natural peace. So fire energy we have coming through for you. So let's get to your oracle cards. So the message from the archangels we have for you, group 1, is we have creative writing. Archangel Gabriel, make time to write down your thoughts in a journal, or pen an article or book. I love that. So that's like basically like I feel like that too could be helpful in like if you're creating boundaries. I feel like for some reason I'm like seeing the lines on the paper, like, oh, those are like boundaries, like keeping the lines, keeping the word, and keeping understanding the separation and the clarity that level of separation brings. Now again, when it comes to separation in itself is an illusion, because we are all source energy beings, right? We know that. Moving forward, the reality of the situation is there are some lines that can get really blurred when you're taking on other people's energies, and you're taking on other people's limitations and other people's thoughts and on you. So I feel like with you making time to write down your own thoughts, this is you getting more in touch with who you are as a person, and you're separating your thoughts from the thoughts and limitations and restrictions of other people. You see what I'm saying? You know what's true for you. You know what's right for you. And other people are going to try to infringe upon that. They're going to try to tell you what's right for them, but they're saying what's right for me works for me, so it should work for you, which is typically not the case. So creative writing, definitely do some of that this week if you're feeling it. But I feel like the message for me coming through to relate to you is understanding that level of clarity that comes with dividing the lines, knowing what the lines are, writing, writing in the lines, and knowing where they end, where they begin. So your chakra that's being worked on this week, or that is super supporting you this week. So when I say worked on and supporting, what is happening is this chakra is being healed, but also through the healing it's working. So when it's working, that means it's being challenged in some way. It's being alchemized, it's being twisted, it's being turned. So in the process of it healing and experiencing, it's also being challenged. So let's see what chakra that is. We have exactly the root chakra. With instinct, I trust that my instincts are correct, and I let my natural intuitive feelings guide me forward. Exactly. I will know what I need to do and how to respond with wisdom to situations that come my way. Exactly. I have an innate desire to be of service in life. As I tap into this feeling, I will know what service I'm called to do. I believe in myself. Exactly. I don't need to say anything else about that. You know, your future is so beautiful. What's unfolding right in front of you is extremely beautiful. This is you just tapping into who you are naturally as an animal, as a being, as something with a fleshy body. You know, you will know what you need to do and how to respond with wisdom to the situations that come your way. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about your future self, because your future you has you in the bag. You know, your future self, it has you. So the law of my aunt that we have for you that you'll be embodying this week is, look at that. It could have been any of the other cards, but look what you got. I follow my inner guidance. Exactly. That's what we've been talking about the entire time for you. And I love how this energy is like the same. It's you. This energy is the same. This is same energy. This is like the pentacles that the page is holding. This is you. You have something to offer. But in order for you to offer this, you have to trust your own guidance. Trust who you are. Trust what's coming through your channel, your vessel, your body, your knowing, not somebody else's, because they don't know. They don't know. And then the blessing from the unicorns that we have this week. So this is what I want to say. This is like healing, or an energy that's coming into your life this week to tap you into abundance, consciousness, and flow. So what we have for you this week is passion. Exactly. Do what excites you, group one. You. This is all about you. Get fired up about life. Increase your energy levels. So this is same energy. I trust my instincts are correct, and I let my natural intuitive feelings guide me forward. Do what excites you. That's it. That is your healing for this week. So again, call on Armadillo when you go through these experiences of boundaries this week. Tap into your inner passion and who you truly are as a person when it comes to the decisions that you want to make, and how you're interacting with the world. Be you. And if people fall off, you know, like that just means that they have somewhere else to be, and so do you. So don't worry about it as much as you think you have to. So group one, beautiful reading. Oh, I just peeped that you had Carnelian too, so that makes total sense with the cards that you got. That's so wonderful. So anyway, group one, let's wrap this up. Thank you so much for coming out today and hanging out with me, chilling in my energy and my vibe. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading today and these messages. If you did not, that is okay. Take what resonates and the rest will fall away. You're not obligated to hold on to anything that's not yours. It's not yours. Let somebody else have it. All right. So I really hope to see you next time, group one. And I really hope this week is beautiful for you. So see you next time, friend. Bye-bye. Hello, group two. For all of our friends who chose the spotted Jasper, this will be your reading for today. So, bring our tarot. Let's get your power animal card for the week. Oracle cards aside. See what energy you'll be bringing in or calling in this week, helping to work with you. Oh, woo. You have Owl. This is so interesting because this is so interesting because I have a friend, and when we were chatting like over Zoom, she has this beautiful like owl clock on her like shelf or like dresser, and then for some reason I was so drawn to it, and I just kept looking at it. I was like, owl is really important in this energy right now. Like owl is very important to her, or important to us as a group, because we're a group of like very very powerful women. Okay, so this, all right. This is some potent energy. It's almost like so much trying to like spill out of my throat at one time. This week, group two, you are tapping into the energy of learning true deception, because you've been thinking that true deception has been this idea that you can do better. True deception has been this idea that when you tell yourself yes and you hear your ego or this very sad or afraid part of you say no, you think that the no is truth because it's contradicting what you've already said. What you are doing this week and with this energy overall is understanding that you are the authority in your life. This is really, really going to help you not be so deceived by the troublemaker inside of you. The ego part of you that wants to sabotage, the part that wants to redirect you and derail you and bring you all different types of places and take your mind and thoughts all different types of places that get you stuck and that put you in places of fear and doubt and anger and frustration and resentment. Now, again, I'm not saying that this is going to take these emotions away. No, because these emotions are extremely important in growing and weathering and adding some beauty to our souls. We need these energies. However, what you're doing is building a palace, a kingdom inside of your body. And in order for this palace to be what's the word? Operate sustainably, for it to sustain itself, for it to become the legacy that it is, you have to move past this level of deception that you've kept yourself trapped in. You need to understand that you, at the end of the day, are your highest authority, that you actually are spirit. Spirit is working through you as you, and this is hard for you to understand because you want so badly to have this sky sugar daddy that's just giving you everything you want, or this sky sugar mama, or this sky gods and goddesses and stuff like that. What is happening is you're learning that these same spirits or whatever that you put on a pedestal, they're all the same as you. They're literally all you. Sorry about that, group 2. I had to pause the reading to help with groceries. So let's get back into this. So basically, with your message from Owl, you are learning that you are your highest authority. There is no separation really between your will and Spirit's will. They're pretty much aligned. The only time there is some form of a separation is when you try to resist or pull back, or you try to dive into fear or doubt or some type of resentment or something like that. That's usually where the separation happens, and you start to pull away from source because you feel like source can't support you, or you have a hard time trusting in spirit, or you have a hard time just trusting in the universe, because the world, the planet that we live on, can feel like an overwhelming, cruel place. You know, it can feel like that. However, there is a story inside of you. There is a design. You have been designed to fulfill a particular mission, and that's for everybody. When that mission is fulfilled, you will transition. So don't worry about transitioning before or after or whatever. You don't have to worry about transition, because transitioning is something that you cannot change, and you will go through many changes and shifts and transitions throughout your life that simply is spirit doing something for you that you cannot do. So the transitions would be like our death card, our tower cards and stuff like that, where it's just a complete crumbling or tumbling of your life. We're like, why is all this happening to me? Why is this, why is this? I can't control any of that. That's just to remind you that spirit is working, and spirit is always working, and spirit is doing the work. Also, this is to help you understand the difference between insecurity and intuition. I feel like I was talking about this in another reading, maybe the one last week, but your insecurity is going to try to create resistance, while your intuition is going to try to create courage, love, strength, faith. Your intuition is going to talk to you in a way that it needs to talk to you so that it can get through to you. Sometimes first starting out, intuition can sound a little more confrontational because it's pushing you to do something outside of your comfort zone. However, a lot of times when it comes to insecurity says you're not good enough. You're never going to make it. Insecurity is abusive. Intuition is encouraging. That's how you know the difference. So if you have some type of intuitive prompting on something, you need to really analyze, is this an intuitive prompting or is this insecurity? Because a lot of times it can get a little convoluted because it feels like there are two voices inside and you don't know which one to surrender to. But truly surrender to yourself. What is the truth for you? What are your desires? What is it that you feel the most aligned with, that is true, that is encouraging? encouraging, that is supportive, not something that is degrading, not something that is abusive, and it's not all the time that your intuition is going to tell you something you don't like to hear. Sometimes your intuition says, you know what, you were the toxic one in that situation and you need to apologize. That's not insecurity, right? Because your insecurity would have said, you know what, you don't have to apologize, you weren't this, you were that. Your insecurity is usually going to try and demean you and going to try to deflect you, try to create a layer of deception in any way it can. So they'll try to create this illusion that you it's going to try to separate you from who you truly are. So if you're someone who upholds integrity, it's going to try to separate you from that integrity. If you're someone who works through gentleness, it's going to try to separate you from that gentleness. It's going to be like, oh no, you're not good enough, you're not gentle enough, you're not sweet enough, you're not blah 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 blah. It's going to try to separate you. What insecurity tries to do is separate you from your natural nature, who you are, and what it is that you can do in this life, what it is that you can obtain, because your insecurity says that you're not good enough, you're not capable enough, so you're never going to do it. It separates you from your roots. It separates you from who you truly are. So that is the biggest issue with insecurity. So I honestly feel like this week, another one of those energies where it's like, I feel like Owl is actually coming through, landing on your shoulder this week and walking with you through the rest of this way. It's not as Owl hasn't been here through the entire journey. Owl has been here, but Owl has been on the sidelines, kind of coming through as a guide, as a sign here and there. But I feel like right now what's happening is Owl's actually coming through as a spirit, as an entity, landing right on your shoulders and seeing you through the rest of this cycle. Because what you're walking through is you are understanding the depths of deception, how deep those roots can run, so that you can truly face the fact that you are your highest authority. You and spirit's wills are aligned. Your higher self and the will of spirit are aligned, and they're leading you. And the more you submit to your intuition and your inner truth, the more you submit to that alignment. And that is exactly what you're doing. You're submitting to what is true for you, not what's right, not what's wrong, not what society thinks is right, not what society thinks is wrong, but what is true for you, your nature as a human being, which is a very similar message to group 1, but I feel like the difference is you're walking through this like almost like a coming out of the darkness type energy, where their energy wasn't there, but this is more of a emergence, coming out of the darkness type. Now you can see clearly now, the rain is gone type energy, like seeing clearly, seeing things clearly, really embodying the lessons and the wisdom that has come with this very, very sporadic journey you've been on. So that is what's happening for you this week. You're finally, it has to do with deception, the ways in which you've been deceiving yourself, because it seems like you've just been on this lesson of deception, self-deception for a really long time. You're truly figuring out what it means to actually step out of that level of self-deception and step into this level of this high sense of self-awareness and love and actual compassion for your natural self, not the self that you think you should be, but who you actually are, what is true for you. So let's get some tarot cards and see what else is out there for you. What other energy is Owl lending us? I honestly just feel the energy of Owl on my right shoulder, perched there on my right shoulder, just sitting there chilling, like we're gonna finish out the rest of this cycle. We're doing that together. Very, very beautiful. So the cards we have for you today are the Lovers. Yep, this is the energy of Owl basically leading you out of that. The decision has been made. There's nothing else you have to worry about. This is Owl literally leading you through the darkness. And then I knew she was going to come out. She was peeking, and I shuffled her back into the deck. And I was like, you know what? If the Empress wants to come out, she'll come out. And look at her, she came out. I should have said something so it could be like more but like, it's just cool that I had that like little occurrence. So we have the Empress, 2 majors. The majors are coming out this week. Interesting. All right, and we have the Four of Pentacles, which is interesting. This was our uh, collective message card or collective healing card, and then we also have the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups feels very, very attached to our Empress here, which makes it's funny, but it actually makes sense. But it's funny because the three energy. And then we have Owl with the 2 and the 1, which condenses down to 3. So it's very interesting. All right. And you have the Lovers with the number 6. So this is just really funny. So honestly, it's I'm like trying to get the language because it's literally just saying the same thing, but it wants you to know that this is happening like in a broader sense, because I feel like you're still thinking a little too small about it. You're still thinking like it's like, oh, it's this job or this relationship or this here or this that. Like it feels much larger than what you're allowing yourself to allow it to be. Like you're still holding on to like this smallness, this pettiness, this smallness. It just feels like very trapping. And I feel like I was literally just coming through and kind of like yanking the whole of you out of this. Your divine feminine, like you're coming out of this whole, a lot more of a whole being, and a lot more harmony than what you expect. Like this is same energy. This is same energy to me. This is same energy. This owl just kind of coming up and like yanking you out of this, like leading you out of it. And, oh, look, all the little animals and stuff there. I didn't notice that. That's so cute. But you're coming out of the situation as a fuller, wholer person, or like you have a fuller, wholer sense of self when it comes to this energy. Like this is your springtime. Honestly, this March, this spring equinox is definitely going to be very beneficial to you. It's something to celebrate for sure. You have the Three of Cups out here because I honestly feel like what you have been doing you have been with the Empress, you've been healing the divine feminine, and what you're doing is embracing the beauty of the divine feminine, but bringing her out of this void space where she was this abandoned, neglected black hole, always hungry, consuming everything, and now she has a much more sense of the purpose and the role that she plays in your life. She like knows what that is. So when I'm saying divine feminine is you. It's just your divine aspect of receiving, of nurturing you, of self-devotion, of loving self, of knowing who you are, knowing how important it is to be who you are, and stepping into abundance consciousness with your natural flow, who you naturally are. Not like the Empress doesn't care about, like what other people, think about it, what other people do, blah, 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 blah. She is just the Empress. She knows who she is. She's the one sitting in that chair, not them, not her, not him. She is the one. You are the one sitting in that chair as this authority. You are the one sitting in this chair. You get me? So it's just like you're definitely coming out of this situation as a fuller whole, not even this situation, but this journey, this chapter as a fuller, wholer person, so that you can move on to the next step. This is just a very, very graceful transition, a very, very beautiful energy. It's like the energy like flowing through these cards is so healthy. It's so medicinal. It's so like a sigh of fresh air. It's like knowing who you really are, because it seems like this journey has been you self-sabotaging and overcomplicating things a lot more than what they needed to be, but they were exactly as they needed to be so that you could see what you were actually doing, so that you could stop doing what you were doing, because you didn't have that awareness. But now that you have that level of awareness through this journey that you have been on, now you can finally be brought out of this void space and brought into the sun. This divine feminine can finally tap into her her cycle of abundance, her abundance consciousness, her knowing of self. That's exactly what it feels like. Your divine feminine was undergoing an extremely alchemical experience in order to know herself. Now, that has nothing to do with gender. It is all about the energy itself, the energy of the void, that which takes, that which which receives, that which receives, and that which gives as well, the void. And like people try to like, and I'm guilty of this too, try to convolute these energies as like the female is reception and the male is receiving, but they both do their fair share of giving and receiving. They both do their fair share of giving, of producing, of receiving, of nurture, of providing. They both do it. So this the feminine essence really is just mainly focus on the void, the ethers, the unknown, the uncertainty of life, the flow of life, more of the stuff that you cannot control. So I feel like the experiences that you've had in your life have been a lot of experiences that you simply couldn't control, in a sense that no matter what choice you made, it was very unavoidable. What you've been led to with this owl energy, this owl alchemy, has been unavoidable, and it has been very challenging. But it was challenging because it was important that you, at the end of this cycle, know yourself and know yourself extremely, extremely well. I didn't even check bottom deck. Let's see what bottom deck is actually. Yep. The devil. It makes absolute total sense when I'm talking about like walking through this darkness, knowing self, and I love it. I love it. I love it. This is exactly what's happening. You've been in this cycle over here, working with this energy over here with the owl too, leading you through this deception, and then we get to this lover. So I promise you, I did not check bottom deck energy until I was like looking at the cards, and I was like, oh, I need to check bottom deck. I didn't even show them bottom deck. This is what you've been working through. This is exactly what you've been working through, so that you can get here, so that you can release all these change and this deception and this conditioning, these lies, and that you can know yourself as a true, whole, full person. So I love the beautiful contrast in these cards. All the decks have their own personality, so I love when they come through and say, use me, and then it's always beautiful and perfect how the reading flows out. So you really have a reason to celebrate. I mean, what's coming into your life is very, very good. And the beautiful thing is it's already here, so you don't have to worry about it. Look what's under that, the tower. Exactly. It makes total sense. It makes absolute total sense. It makes absolute total sense that the tower would be under that, because it just seems like it's a lot of energy coming through. It's like what you couldn't, the tower is that card. It's like there's some things in your life that you simply can't control. And, I'm talking about, feel like your life is crumbling and stuff like that. We literally have the tower under bottom deck. So it makes a lot of sense what's happening here to me. You're getting to the other side of this, and Owl is taking you there. No matter what you have to walk through thus forward, you literally have Owl on your right shoulder, leading you the rest of the way through this cycle. You will not be alone. You have support, and you never have been alone. But there's a lot of times in this journey where your spiritual team had to be a little more quiet and give you a little more space, so that you can really fully embody these lessons for yourself. But now they're coming in and working a little more closely, actually a lot more closely, just to make sure you are carried the rest of the way out of this. Like almost like they're like midwives or something. It's really beautiful. So let's get into the rest of your cards. So the Archangel card they have for this week to help with this this lesson of deception, working with the alchemy of deception, self-deception. Let's see what Archangel has to say about that. So we have Archangel Metatron with prioritize. Focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. So I love the I will help you get organized and motivated. This is the same energy that I was talking about of they're literally like incoming, like we are going to sit on your shoulder. We're right there. You don't have to worry. We're right there with you to finish out the rest of this cycle. So focus on what you can focus on right now, and we'll help you get everything else into place. And always don't forget to that bottom deck for the Archangel cards for the collective was divine order, or is divine order. Everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see underlying order. And then with our Chakra wisdom card, we had courage and faith. We had courage and faith. And I feel like for your group in particular thus far, like you have to like these messages are for you. I feel the fear and I do it anyway. I am ready and eager to move forward. Like this is for you. This is for you. This is beautiful, beautiful energy that you're moving through, and that you're moving. Very, very like deep alchemy. So your chakra that's being worked with this week is, or highlighted or focused on, is your sixth chakra, third eye chakra, with intuitive perception. I know what my intuitive senses tell me are true. I open myself to the truth that is within and around me, and I know it is there for me to receive. I practice developing my intuition, and I know that it is a major aspect of who I am. In the stillness and silence of meditation and contemplation, I will experience and know the truth. Exactly. This is beautiful, beautiful energy. This is you walking through this deception. Like, there just seems like there were layers and layers of fear and self-deception over and over again. And you thought the self-deception was when you tried to be positive, and you thought that when the negative presented itself, that the negative was the truth. But now that you're seeing, no, actually, I can actually flip this on its head when I, as the highest authority, am offering the positive and positive outlook and actual intuition, like I'm being led here. What is actually happening is it's this devil energy that's coming through and trying to thwart my progress. So it's very beautiful how it's showing up in my vision. So we have your law of Ma'at this week. This is a law that you'll embody in order to help you work through this energy. So we have, I am trustful in my relationships. That is interesting because this energy came out last week. And what I'm feeling that what this means is you, when it says trustful, this means that you are being honest. You're being honest. You're being honest with yourself. You're being honest with the people around you. You're being honest with yourself about your feelings, what it is that you truly feel. You're not deceiving people. You're not stringing anybody along. You're not leading people on. You're not doing any of those type of things to give someone like a false sense of security within a relationship, or a false sense of security, like, oh yeah, I'll accept this job position, or I'll accept this friendship, or I'll accept this this flirting, or I'll accept whatever it is. Like you're being truthful. You're not like putting yourself in a position to you're not putting yourself in a position to, what's the word here? You're not putting yourself in a position to be dishonest with someone else. Or you're not putting yourself in a position to betray your own self as well. So when you're betraying your own self, or when you're betraying your own self, you're betraying other people. And when you're betraying other people, you're also betraying your own self. So this is what this energy is saying. You're being truthful. You're being honest when it comes to your relationships and how you relate to other people, how you relate to yourself as well. So I feel like the truth is this bring you this clarity of walking through the ends of this level of self-deception and deception as a whole, so that you can truly know what it means to be truthful and be honest with your own inner self, and understand your own inner beauty, and that you are human, that you do make mistakes, that other people make mistakes. But it's okay, because you're a human being and you're not obligated to hold on to anything that does not serve you. You're moving out of these energies that keep you attached and that don't serve you, and you're moving into a higher level of understanding and radiance for the betterment of yourself and the other people in your life, and the people that you'll continue to encounter in your future. So this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. So the oracle card that we have from the Unicorn Oracle deck today will represent like your blessing or energy, a healing energy that's coming in this week to help you move through this energy as well. So we have past lives. Release your past life karma, group 2. Yes. Stop being so chained to the past. This is what that is. The reason why you're working through such deep levels of self-deception is because you kept yourself chained to your past, old grudges against other people, old grudges against self. Oh, I need to be better than this me. I need to be better than that me. I hate this old me. I was never good enough. I was always bad. I always did this, always did, this is you walking through that and becoming anew. You are an old soul with deep wisdom. Yes, which is why you literally have the owl. Healing your past lives will raise your vibration. Exactly. And by healing your past lives, that's exactly the journey that you've been on, by the way. But what you're also doing is beginning to love yourself, love everybody involved, and really speak from your heart, your highest authority, knowing yourself truly as the authority over your own life, and knowing that you and spirit's will are always going to be aligned. And when you resist this resistance, that will that you have to resist because you're afraid, it's never going to overcome the will of your highest self, and of spirits, the destiny that spirit has laid out for you. It like does not matter how you want to be changed in your past or whatever. Even though we do have free will, spirit is always going to lead your soul to where it needs to go for the betterment of not only you but our collective. So this is a beautiful, beautiful energy, group 2. Like, you're working through a huge thing. You're overcoming something very, very large. You've been working on this for a while, and it's really beautiful to see like this transition from this devil energy, what you're walking through and what you're walking into with the Lovers, the Empress, the Three of Cups, and also the Four of Pentacles, with the Four of Pentacles representing you letting go of your past so that you can dive into new horizons and a more broader connection to abundance consciousness. So this is great. Great. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. So I really, really, really thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with my energy and my vibe today. I really, really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did not, that is okay. Take whatever resonated for you and the rest will fall away. You are not by any means obligated to hold on to anything that is not yours. Allow it to fall away so that it can reach the people that it needs to reach, all right? So I really, really hope you have a good week. I hope that this reading did resonate because it was a pretty good one. So I hope to see you next time, group 2. Bye-bye. Hello, group 3, for all of our friends who chose the citrine for your reading today. These messages are for you. So we'll set your oracle cards aside. We have our tarot today. Let's see what animal energy is coming through for you this week to bring you some messages, some protection, some help, some healing. Woo! We are getting some very, very interesting energies today, to say the least. Wow. We have Crow. Okay. The reason why I'm so like dumbfounded because I was just working with this type of energy. So it's interesting how it's coming through right now. You are being asked to take part in the magic of the universe. Stop seeing yourself as a victim to it. Stop seeing yourself as a victim to the flow of consciousness or the stream, of the universe. So what comes through you, what, goes out. Take part in the magic of the universe. See yourself in everything, in spirit, in your spiritual team. So this is funny because it came through in group 2 as well, and I want to repeat it here. If you're someone who considers yourself to be, spiritual, and you believe in spirit guides and ascended masters and things like that, it's super important. It's funny because I heard this earlier today, but it's super important to see them as you, like, not to create a hierarchy like they're better than me, they do this, they do that. Literally, they do not think like that. They don't operate like that. They see you as part of a team. That they see that you, me, the collective, Mother Nature, all the planets, the stars, the galaxy, spirit, we're all part of a team, a collective team. We're not separate as in you do this that way and that means you do it wrong, and I do this way, that means I do it right, or my team is better than this team, it's this galaxy versus that galaxy, this person, that person. That is something that we create for fun as human beings, which is great. We should have competition. It's great. It's cool to see people challenging each other's standards and our beliefs and what we think we're capable of and possible of doing. We should continue to do that because it is such a beautiful, juicy, fiery part of our evolution. However, when it comes to these higher frequency energies of tapping into abundance consciousness and things like that, when you go up higher and you're connecting to source, it's important like not to create the hierarchy or they're better than me or spirit knows better than me, because I feel like truly what happens is you'll allow things to come through your channel that are not of spirit but that will portray themselves as spirit because they think that you will listen to anything. Now, this doesn't have to be internal, even though I feel like it is internal, but this can also be people. You're more inclined to listen to other people over yourself. You're more inclined to listen to other things. You're more inclined to take signs and guidance as negative opposed to positive because you're not true to yourself and who you really are. So Crow is actually coming in, and it's beautiful because all the animal spirits that we've had this week are actually coming in and working closely. So they're actually coming in and helping you to see out the rest of a cycle or helping you with a transition. So Crow is really coming through, sitting right on your left shoulder. Really, it's like I got so much tension in my left shoulder, but really sitting with you and seeing this all the way through so that you can know that you are part of the magic of the universe. You're not separate from it. You're not above it. You're not below it. You are it. You are part of it. You're not just this thing, this body of cells just blobbing around existing. You are as a part of this magic as anything else. Your whole you, the you that you show to the world, and the shadow you below the surface, parts of you that you try to hide, it doesn't matter. Your whole you is welcome here. Your whole you is part of this magic. Your whole you is part of this alchemy. Your tribe needs your whole you. The people who want to receive you need your whole you. So this is why the journey that we are on as a collective is getting back to us as a whole, our individual selves as a whole, so that we can understand ourselves as a unity consciousness as a whole, as a collective consciousness. We all are interdependent and interconnected. Like we are interdependent on each other. We are all interconnected some way, somehow. We all know each other. We're all connected. And that does not devalue the beauty and options in the variations of life, and the beauty of different cultures, of different things, of different languages, of different sounds and sights and smells and scents. That does not devalue them. What you find unpleasant does not devalue them because there's someone who finds them pleasant. What you find pleasant doesn't devalue them because there's somebody who doesn't. You're trusting the beauty and the magic and the variety that's in the universe. And I feel like Crow is sitting right on your left shoulder this week and walking you all the way through that understanding so that you can fully embody it and transform this knowledge, this knowing, this intellect, this inner knowing into wisdom, so that it is something that you can hold and carry. And what's important about it being transformed into wisdom is that when it transforms into wisdom, it's not just knowledge that's stored in a memory bank, like, oh, I remember that 1 + 1 = 2. It's not like that, like something that's just stored in your memory bank. This is what happens with wisdom is, and the importance of wisdom is the fact that wisdom can take more forms than just knowledge and intellect. It can take form in silence. It can take form in body. It can take form in words. It can take form in remembrance. It can take form in an epiphany. It can take so many different forms. It does take so many different forms. So that's the beauty of allowing a lesson to become wisdom, of going through a lesson so that it can become wisdom, because it can take many different forms and it becomes very teachable. So really what Crow is helping you to understand this week is trusting the magic in the universe and knowing that you are part of the magic. The world is more beautiful because you're in it. The world is becoming a healthier place, a place that is full of more radiance and high level consciousness because you're in it. You're not separate from this. And I see you trying to separate yourself, like, oh no, that can't be me, that I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not this. And it's like the journey you've been on has taught you so much about that, and it's time for you to stop being so gun shy. Pull that trigger and just know that you are magical. You're part of this magic of the universe. You're part of this beautiful language that the wind, that the water, that the fire, that earth speaks to all of us. You're part of that just as much as an animal is, just as much as a leaf is, a plant, the water, the ocean, the mountains, clouds, and whatever you think, the ascended masters and the angels and all that. They're just as a part of the magic as you are. Actually, you have a huge role in this as you are processing all this through a human body. That's huge because you get to feel what it's like, the visceral separation that we all feel with being separate from, source. The visceral separation, what it means to, feel separate from the people that you love, from things that you like, from having a comfortable life. We get to feel that viscerally in a way that beings that don't have physical bodies don't actually get to feel. So as a human being, you play an important role. So this too is with Crow saying to not devalue the human experience. It doesn't matter what dimension you go to, what galaxy, how high or how low you go. It does not matter. But be careful about trying to rid yourself of your humanity. Be careful about devaluing the human experience, because the human experience is just as much important in this ascension as anything else. We're ascending so that we can have these beautiful experiences, and that so that we are having beautiful experiences in human bodies, in human form, in linear, in the 3D. That's part of the reason why we're doing this, so that when we reincarnate as souls, we can have a more graceful experience. We can all be locked into abundance consciousness and not lack consciousness. This is why we're being led to the places that we're being led to the people, the ideas, the places, the things. That's why we're transitioning in the way that we are transitioning. And you see spirit and Mother Nature and the planets, all of them are all working together to make sure the energy is here and needed for us so that we can get to where we're going. So please do not devalue the magic that is found in the everyday human experience, because that's exactly how you were meant and designed to experience it. If you were not meant or designed to experience it as such, you wouldn't be a human being. It's not a coincidence that you're a human being. So really, the message is, do not devalue the human experience. Your spiritual journey should not be one of stripping you of your humanity. You're human. You're human, and the more that you resist that, the more you're going to build a resistance, and it's going to make life harder for you, because you're resistance the very truth of what is. So that's what Crow has to say this week. And I honestly feel like it's like the whole left side of my face, especially my ear, my left shoulder, so hot with energy, because I feel like Crow is like right there with you. Like I can feel the warmth of the belly of the bird sitting right there. So it's really, really, really beautiful energy how it's coming through. Trust the magic that is you. Trust the magic that's working through you. Trust that you are as part of this magic. Like imagine like being a magic wand, like an actual magic wand. You know how they're all like sparkly, like Mickey Mouse, like taking it like, like imagine that as you, because that's exactly what you are. You are as much as part of the magic as anything else that you think is magical, You may think unicorns and all blah, blah, blah are magical, but so are you. So the cards that we have flipping out for you right off the bat is the Two of Swords. I love this so much. And then this horse imagery is really important too. This trusting that you are part of the magic is super, super freeing for you. And then we have the Knight of Wands. I want to get another card, and then we can do bottom deck. What is our last card for group 3? What do they need to know this week? What's coming through? It's this card here. Oh, it's the Ace of Cups. I love the Ace of Cups in this deck. It's so cute. It's so cute. And then bottom deck, 3 of Cups. Yeah. This journey is not playing out the way that you expected it to. You expected it to be a lot more painful, a lot harsher. You expected more punishment. You expected more of being punished for your sins. You expected more of the guilt and the shame route, and that's just not the route you're taking. Actually what you're doing is building the route of forgiveness and of love and of compassion and kindness, and what that looks like to you, not what society says it's supposed to look like. Oh, love and kindness looks like this, it looks like this twisted sense of self-sacrifice or altruism or something like that. Like, no, this is what it looks like to you, how it feels in your body naturally, where power sits in your body and where magic sits in your body naturally, and that's different for all of us. I was just having a conversation about this earlier today. Like, me personally, I am not love and light. I don't really like the love and light, blah, 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 be kind and compassionate to everybody. I am more of a encourager. I'm more of the motivational speaker. I'm more of the push on the back. I'm more of the fiery energy, the push, the Knight of Wands energy. That's more my style of the power is within you. The power is within, what your freedom of choice, who you are as a human being. I'm less like, even though I do believe in, like the magic of the universe, or like even like fairies and unicorns and stuff, and I'm 100% a believer, but I believe less in like you have to be kind and you have to be compassionate in order to be a spiritual being. I don't believe in that sense. I feel like everything is unfolding naturally and how it needs to unfold, and that's you being true to your most authentic self. And that may not look like love and light, or it may look like love and light. It may look less like someone who is motivational and pressy and powerful. It may look like somebody who is more gentle, someone who wants to nurture in a different way. Even though both energies are nurturing and supportive, it may look different. So it all depends on how it looks to you. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So I feel like that's exactly why you have the Two of Swords here too. I feel like the Two of Swords is saying trust in the magic, even the magic you can't see, even in the magic where you can't differentiate whether there's a right or a wrong, because it doesn't matter which side you sway. It's both right. It's all right. It's all right. Like, it's all right. It's okay. You are designed to be the person that you were designed to be. You weren't designed to be what somebody else was designed to be. Doesn't that make sense? So I feel like the Two of Swords is out here really to say that there is no going left doesn't mean if something bad happens that you should have went right. You see what I'm saying? Or going right doesn't mean just because a whole bunch of good things happen doesn't mean that there's something wrong, or not wrong, but something more challenging lying in wait. Like, this is all about just your own personal alchemy, who you are as a person. And really the best thing that you can do is, even though you're going to support other people on their path, give advice, help out where you can, and be of service, the best thing that you can do is not take on the responsibility of living life for other people, taking on their problems, their issue, their learning journey, because that's exactly what you do. When you try to solve everything for everybody else, you enable them, and you don't necessarily give them space to be the magic that they really are, to work miracles in their own life. And what you are doing is you're learning how to work these miracles in your own life, and you can be a model for this for other people who resonate with you. Now, I can say not everybody will resonate with you. That is okay. You will find your tribe. You will find the people who want to, not want to, but the people who actually receive you fully, who enjoy you, who enjoy your energy, who enjoy your spirit. And that's just the truth of it. Not everybody's going to be for you, and that's okay. That's just for them to differentiate what feeds their soul and what doesn't, because that's the exact same thing that you're doing right now. So you're basically just trusting the magic in yourself, the magic in the universe, and knowing that this same magic that's within you is within everything and everybody else. Everybody's part of this magic. Whatever I said this in another group too, but whatever people have going on in their life when it comes to their own blessings and curses and whatever, that's for them to handle. That's between them and spirit. The responsibility is not on you. You can inspire people, you can influence, but you can't change them, and you can't live their life for them. So it's really, really, really important for you, especially group 3, to understand that you can't live your life for other people, as in you can't live your life trying to be everybody else's solution. With you being who you are naturally, the people who need something from you will gravitate toward you. The people who need something from you, who actually can receive it. There it is, the people who can actually receive it. Because sometimes we try to help people and we do our best. We have our best intentions at heart, but there are people who simply just can't receive what we're offering. And what you're doing is unleashing your natural true self so that you can actually resonate and connect with the people who are ready to actually receive you, besides trying to force your way into people's lives or force people to receive you or your way of life or the way that you think. So very, very beautiful energy, super, super healing, super, super connective. Like, I feel like you're basically going to be connecting with your tribe. I feel it in my heart space, heart chakra energy. There is some heart chakra energy here where there is like an element of like romance, or like an element of like connecting to a tribe's member, or connecting to someone in a more romantic way that feels very healing, which is really cool. But for the most part, this is just trusting in the magic. I feel like it's even at the point now where like spirit just wants to like prove the magic to you. Like, you see, like, do you see that trick? Do you see the magic trick? Like, it's definitely like spirit is doing some magic and you're going to see this magic. But it's like, in order for you to really see it and own it, know that you are a part of the magic. Know that you're a part of the magic trick. Okay, like, know that you're part of the trick. You're not the one being treated or being tricked. You are actually part of the magic. You're part of the actual magic that's happening. You're part of the illusion, which is, and I don't say illusion as a negative thing. I just say that you're part of the reality. You're part of reality as you see it. The decisions that you make, and when you co-create with spirit, which Crow also talks about, and Raven Crow energy also talks about, with co-creation with spirit, you are part of this co-creation. You are part of the magic. So imagine, like, what is his name? I forgot that magician, but that magician, think about a magician, and you know how they have the bunnies and they have like the sidekick, they have the woman that gets in the box and she's cutting 3 and whatever. You're basically that. You're like basically all these, components. You're the woman that hops in the box and she's cutting 3. You're the bunny rabbit that's pulled out of the hat, or the dove that's pulled out of the jacket. Like, that is you. you're just as as much of a part of this magic as anything else. And so are the people who deeply resonate with you. Your tribe people also are a part of this magic. Your desires, everything that you want in life is part of this magic as well. And you're really learning how to trust that, which is really beautiful. So it's a beautiful energy, group 3. I really like it. This is beautiful. I love how you have the 3 and then you have the 2 of swords and the ace of cups, which is another 3. And then we have 2 and 4, which is 6, which that energy is coming out again, which is funny. You have the 336, which came out another reading. So this Knight of Wands energy feels really healing. This is like you finally like trusting yourself and not backing down, or like not forcing yourself to be anything that you're not. You're not forcing yourself into a box. You're being the person that you're meant to be. And being the person that you're meant to be means you're automatically in line with being of service. So you don't have to worry about how you're going to be nice, how you're going to be kind, how you're going to be perfect for the universe. You're already perfect for the universe, how you are. You just have to go through a process of uncovering that. So it's a beautiful energy. Let's get into the rest of your oracle cards and see what they have. So the archangel that's going to be supporting you in their message this week is Nurture. Archangel Gabriel. As you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. So that's beautiful. So that could definitely be, I feel like that is definitely the energy of nurturing your own magic, knowing your own magic. Because the beautiful thing about children is, before they're super corrupted by us, our adult conditions and blah, 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 whatever, they are super connected to the magic of the universe, which is a message that came through a channeling earlier today that I was part of, which is really cool to see it come back just as a confirmation. This could be like, if you have a child in your life that just needs a little more of your magic, this could be that. But this literally could be, which I feel like it is for the most part, is like literally you just trusting and nurturing your own inner child and knowing who you are as an amazing spirit, as an amazing soul, as actual spirit, and not that that's something separate from you. Not that your angels and the ascended masters or whatever are something separate from you, but that they actually are you, a part of you, and all part of this magic that's happening. And you're trusting that as you nurture your own self and your own inner child, and you're mothering yourself. This is beautiful. So the chakra wisdom energy that we have coming through. So this chakra will be the chakra that's being worked on this week, or helping you through this energy, or connecting with your magic. So we have abundance consciousness. Second chakra, second chakra, sacral chakra with abundance. I am worthy and I deserve an abundance of anything that I require. Yes, group 3. I watch my thoughts to ensure that I am honoring and respecting myself. I honor myself by knowing that I am worthy to receive and I am open to receive now. I remind myself that it is a sign of strength to ask for help. It's beautiful. You've been asking for help too, and I feel like the universe finally has it has enough. You have enough self-awareness or clarity of thought to where it can respond to you in that way. Honestly, like, this is definitely some abundance consciousness energy, because I feel like what you were doing before by creating this hierarchy or creating this separation between you and spirit, you're basically kind of like, you know how they have those like people in like church movies or whatever, who are like on their hands and knees like, oh spirit, why have you forsaken me? Oh God, why have you forsaken me? Or I'll sacrifice my body, I'll do whatever it is. You try to like make the ultimate sacrifice in order to step into this abundance consciousness, because you know that abundance consciousness is your natural state of being. But this is you actually reaching it in the physical realm, actual of body, in form, holding an abundance consciousness. And this isn't necessarily about wealth, even though wealth and wellness is about that, is part of this, but this is more about a consciousness, because abundance consciousness and lack consciousness, or poverty consciousness, are just separate, not separate, but they're equal. They're two sides of the coin. So one is heads and one is tails, basically. And you're basically flipping the switch on to turn on to abundance consciousness and not play in lack consciousness as much anymore. So it's really beautiful. It's really, 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 really beautiful. And when I say poverty consciousness, I mean the actual consciousness of I am poor, I'm always in scarcity. So a lot of rich people are actually in scarcity consciousness, because they always feel like they don't have enough. This is why they hoard their money. This is why they have a hard time sharing. This is why they do a lot of the things they do, because they have a scarcity mentality. I am not referring to poverty as, you know, third world countries who are actually, you know, war torn and stuff like that, or poverty as in institutionalized, you know, racism and things like that, that try to keep oppression going in order to fuel a very antiquated, unhealthy, unbeneficial system, a system that is unbeneficial to a lot of people that live in particular countries and things like that. That's not what I'm referring to at all, because, you know, someone who is just trying to survive is not someone who just needs to flip on a switch and then they'll be rich and in abundance consciousness. No. And actually, there are a lot of people who work who have very mundane lives, who are tapped into abundance consciousness and wouldn't have it any other way. This is all about the way that you think. This is about your perspective. This is about the level of consciousness that you reach. This is about knowing who you are, trusting who you are, and being who you are. And that's why it's very hard for rich people sometimes, or people who are wealthy when it comes to money, actually have a hard time tapping into this abundance consciousness, because they get lost in who they are when it comes to having everything that they think that they need, or everything that they thought that would fix their problems. And I am one of those people where I do believe that money to a certain extent does buy happiness. And, you know, a lot of times people think that we can just that therapy and things like that don't cost money, and that type of stuff wouldn't help. But literally, money could solve plenty of problems that people have. So I understand that. So that's not what I'm saying here, that, you know, they are just like money is gonna, you know, abundance consciousness is just gonna be money, and money's gonna solve your problems. But it's more of a way, it's a state of being that you're reaching, and it's less about like the material gain. Just the material gain is just a byproduct of your state of being when you reach this level of consciousness and you're comfortable with who you are as a person. So anyway, the law of Ma'at that's coming through for you this week, group 3, is I honor animals with reverence. I love that. So I love so much how you have like all this like animal imagery too in the cards, and you also have this nurturing, animals being very, very nurturing. Also this nurturing of something, like being what's the energy, nurturing of the magic of the world, like the unexplainable, like we have science tells us a lot, and I think science is beautiful. Science just, breaks things down into intellect, into knowledge, into parts, so that we can understand why they tick. But science doesn't really get to the nitty gritty of what it means when it comes to the feminine side of this, the spiritual, the unknown. So I feel like this is what this energy is saying to I honor animals with reverence, is this appreciation of the magic of the universe, the appreciation of the fact that the universe just somehow thought, hey, I have a lot of herbivores, I need to create carnivores. So this is that, the honor of the cycle of life, in the role that every being, especially every animal, plays, and how important it is that we have, a balance of all these energies for the circle of life, so that you understand that it's less of a hierarchy and more of a circle. So yeah, and the energy that we have from the Unicorn Oracle deck for you this week is possibility. Raise your standards, elevate your expectations. You have unlimited potential. Beautiful. This is exactly what you're doing. You're believing in something higher. You're believing in something more. You're believing in more. You're believing that there are other possibilities out there besides just being stuck where you are, and besides, always being disappointed, and besides always sacrificing yourself and not getting anything in return. You're finally tapping into this abundance consciousness energy, connecting to your community, your tribe, understanding that it's time for you to raise your standards, elevate your expectations, and knowing that you have had unlimited potential this entire time. It was just waiting for you to unlock it. So the universe is magical, group 3, and you know that. So this is really, really, really good energy. So let's wrap up this reading. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did not, that is okay. Take what resonated and the rest will fall away. You are not obligated to hold on to anything that is not yours. But I do hope it did resonate, because this is some good energy, and I really, really enjoy it. So I really, really hope to see you next time. I hope your week is fantastic, and thank you so much for stopping by, group. Group 4, for everybody who chose the chunk of Sugar Knight, this will be your reading today. So let's get your power animal and slide your cards to the side, and let's see what animal spirit is coming in to help you this week. We don't have any blanks. We don't have any blanks this week. That is incredible. For some reason, something's happening when I put my left hand on the left side of my neck. For some reason, it's echoing. It's like echoing through the like the entire side of my right body. It's a really weird cavernous feeling. It's very interesting. I feel like it's tied to this reading. So you have Jaguar in reverse, and I honestly feel like Jaguar in reverse is telling you to have more faith in your character, have more faith in who you are as a person. It's a very, very basic message that's coming through, but it's just you have a very impeccable nature. You're good, you're fine, but for some reason you're just resisting it. You don't want to believe it, because you feel like you're not good enough, and that came through every reading. You feel like, oh, but other people are like this and other people are like that. You're struggling to tap into your alpha nature, your actual predatory nature, because the word predator has a negative connotation and it can be very charged. And as humans, we haven't really associated great things with that word. But there was someone else who said this, and I'm trying to remember who said this. I don't know if it was the channeler that I go to for channelings. I can't remember, but what they said was, I think I remember who it was. What they said was, you won't fault a lion for being a predator because it has to eat. You won't fault a jaguar because it has to kill whatever little, gazelle or antelope in order for it to sustain itself. So what Jaguar is really, really asking for you is to embrace your character, because the power that you have is that you have to play your role in the cycle of life and death. And what you do is, the energy that you introduce to people's lives can feel very destructive, in the sense that you recognize when there's a cycle that is going on and it just needs to die. When there is a cycle that has been drawn out and is long on, you're like, why is this still here? You recognize that there's a new energy right behind it, and you are trying to get to that new energy. Now, I'm not saying that's what Jaguar does when it's eating. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to kill this because there's a new energy. Like, no, but really the culling that comes with, think about the big cats when they cull and they go out and they make sure the control, herbivore populations, because they need to eat. They are really what brings spring. If they did not control herbivore populations, there would be no spring. We would not have an abundance of seed and grass and trees. The herbivores would destroy it all. So I feel strongly, group 4, like you are an alpha, you have like a big dominant energy, you're not submissive, and you're trying to fit into this submissive energy and this type of surrender energy, and you're like trying to surrender to spirit, and spirit keeps looking back at you like, hello, like I feel like spirit is working with you in the best way, where it's like spirit is like, yeah, like I got you, I'm always going to support you, I'm here for you, and I got the energy for you. And the way that you actually surrender to the highest of what spirit is offering you is by surrendering to your own inner knowing, your own energy, your own powerful energy. This is about you owning your power. So I actually feel guided to flip Jaguar upright, because like that is the thing that you need for you to understand and trust your own power, because you have like this negative connotation when it comes to the word power in your mind. Oh, power means that I am some old rich person that doesn't want to give up their money, or this old rich person that's making policies that don't benefit people. And it's like, that is just a lie. Like, that's not what power means at all. Like, power doesn't really have to do anything with arrogancy or being cocky or a hoarder, or like, no, like really you would benefit greatly from, why are they saying reorganizing the way you relate to power. I don't know why they're saying it that way, but like reorganizing or like reviewing the way that you relate to the word power itself, because it feels like you have a negative connotation when it comes to the word power. Like, power means I'm arrogant, power means I'm entitled, power means I'm a bitch or whatever. And that's not what it means at all. Power just means that someone who knows their value and trusts in their own stuff and trusts in their value, and they're not going to settle for anything less than that, and they know what they can bring to this world. They know what they can do. They know who they are. Like, it's funny. I'm going to say this because it was me and my friends in our group. We were talking about Beyonce, and there's like this 10-minute video of Beyonce just being, it's like Beyonce being shady. But when I was watching it, I was like, this is just someone who knows their power and who knows what they're capable of, who knows what they're good at, because Beyonce is a master, and knowing what they can offer to the world. And they don't allow anything that's not aligned with that vision to compromise that vision. So this is you, and I honestly feel like Jaguar is right by your side, and your left side. I don't know why your left side in particular, but the energy of Jaguar is sitting on your left side, on the left side of your body, walking right along with you as you transverse the rest of this cycle. Because I feel like I hear the energy and spirit saying you are at the end of the cycle, and you are walking the very, very ends of it, and Jaguar is coming in to walk the rest of it with you. So I feel like Jaguar has been here, just like the other animal, the spirit animals that we have this week. Everybody had this, where the animal has been in the shadows, kind of peeking and supporting you and whispering. But I feel like because you're at the end of the cycle now, with the spring equinox, that's probably why it's the end. They're walking you through the rest of it, like walking you to the very, very end, so that anything from this cycle can truly be released, realized, and the alchemy that needs to be done for all this knowledge to be turned into wisdom can actually be done in the way that it needs to be done. So honestly, not group one, that's so funny. Honestly, group 4, this is about you learning true alchemy as in true power, alchemy as in true mastery, as in like everything in this world happens for you, not to you. You're not a victim to what's happening to you, but rather you're gathering all these experiences to grow and advance your soul. And what you're doing is you're stepping into the level of power you agreed to step into anyway when you decided to incarnate in this world. So this is all about you trusting your power, trusting your creativity, trusting your creative flow, trusting who you are as a natural being, and trusting what's actually coming through your channel, your vessel. Every human being, everything is a channel, is a vessel of the divine. Everything is of the divine. You are not free of that. You hold the same power in you that the people you idolize hold. You're capable of the same things that they're capable of. So the truth here is to understand and to own your power. This is a Jaguar saying, have some integrity and believe in yourself. Have some integrity and believe in yourself. Because you're powerful. You are. But you don't like the word power for some reason. It's weird to you. Just saw the Queen of Pentacles, which makes a lot of sense. So that's funny. Let's get some tarot cards to see what it is about your relationship to power, because it's your relationship to power that needs to change. It's like you want to be like really like modest and like small and like and of course we get the Page of Cups, what I'm talking about, being like really like and you know, like wishy-washy, and it's like it just doesn't fit right. Like you can't find a comfortable place to sit because yep. Okay, those are the rest of the cards. Ooh, I saw the Queen of Wands too hanging out. Oh, look at bottom deck, the World. Exactly, because you're at the end of the cycle and you're just walking through. And I love how we have the line down there too. It's representing that big cat on the left side. So we have more cards than I expected. You have the Nine of Pentacles. Time for you to be independent of other people's ideas or what they view of you and other people's ideas of power. Look at that, Eight of Cups. Exactly. It's time for you to be free of what other people think is power, what other people think is greatness, what other people think is fun, and tap into what that energy means for you. Amazing. And then we have the Two of Pentacles that wants to go with the Page of Cups, and then we have the Five of Pentacles that wants to actually go with the Eight of Chalices or Cups. And I feel like the reason why you have the Five of Pentacles coming out with the Eight of Cups is because when you walk away from this level of trying to abide by other people's rules, other people's standards, and blah, 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 you're going to feel like in a sense, this big, huge, mass consciousness society or whatever is going to reject you. They're not going to want to support you. And really what I'm feeling is that's just a lie you tell yourself so that you don't have to step up to bat, so that you don't have to step into your own power, so that you don't have to, it's like you use it to delay yourself, basically. It's like the Eight of Cups is already happening. It's already unfolding, and you know that it's something that you've been manifesting. Actually, it's something you've been praying for. You've been really, really praying hard for this and wanting this. What you're doing is you are stepping out of this very, very age-old energy of trying to please everybody and trying to show up for everybody and trying to be everything to everybody and trying to abide by standards or rules and stuff like that. And you're surpassing that by trusting your own power. And this is hard because all the people in your life haven't been very great models of that. They've been good models of people just dealing, or people just not taking stuff seriously, or people taking stuff too seriously. Like it seems like you don't have really good models in your life of what a healthy balance of that looks like. But with the Nine of Pentacles being here, that is what you're getting to embody. So really the World and the Nine of Pentacles have same energy to me. So what I see happening is the World is the Nine of Pentacles being born. So these two women here, the two entities they have the same frequency, they have the same energy, they're the same person. What you're doing is you're being born anew out of this cycle, and you're stepping into this Nine of Pentacles energy. But while you're going through this cycle, you had to go through this like Eight of Cups moment where you had to like walk away from an age-old energy, or a way of being, or a way of thinking, a way of really just a way of being, which encompasses thinking and feeling and things like that, so that you can embody something new. and you've really been struggling with these trains of thought. You're like, should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go? And it seems like with the Page of Cups, even though you're wishy-washy, you still ended up going, because this is also same energy here with like this man here and this man there. It's like the Two of Pentacles, they just got older. I mean, not the Two of Pentacles, but the in the Page of Cups, they got older. They learned more. So what I see happening, honestly, is you stepping into this sense of self, this sense of awareness, this sense of independence, where you don't feel so reliant on people validating you, of people giving you the pat on the back or whatever. You know that when you step into your own power, this is just something it's just a byproduct. You understand that all the things that you want in your life are just a byproduct of what happens when you step into your own power and you be the person that you know yourself to be. Not what people think you should be, or wear what people think you should wear, or talk the way people think you should talk, or whatever. This is all about you knowing that money, fame, cars, clothes, whatever it is, I don't care what it is, it's all beautiful. All of that is just a byproduct of you stepping in and being the person that you actually want to be, and not the person that people need you to be, you know. So this is you changing your relationship to power in a healthy way, because it seems very unhealthy and unhealed the way that it is now. And that is what this journey for you has been all about, is having a healthier relationship to power and enlightenment and joy and abundance and what you can actually offer the world, which is greatness. So it's very, very beautiful energy. That's definitely what you're working through this week, is transcending this really, really age-old like sense of power. You're changing the language of what power means, of what authority means, of what, you know, doing for self means. Because it's like, if you are being who you want to be, you don't have to fear that. Everything, being of service, being kind and compassionate and nurturing and being of spirit, is just a natural byproduct of you being yourself. You understand that. And that's what Jaguar really, really wants you to embody. Like, not power being some weird thing meant for, you know, older or like middle-aged white men, but power being the power to have the courage to stand up and be your own self. Be who you know is true to you, and not being so reliant on people who can't receive you in the first place, or people who don't like you in the first place. So this beautiful energy. So let's get to your oracle cards and see what energy they're bringing in this week. So we have our Archangel message. Let's see how they're supporting you this week with you know exactly what to do. Archangel Uriel. Trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. Change your relationship to power. This is trusting your inner knowledge, and you know that. You know that. You know exactly what it is that you want to do. You know it is. Even if that's waiting, even if that's doing something, even if that's doing nothing, it does not matter. You know what's true for you. Change what you think power looks like. Change the definition of power. You know what to do. You know exactly what to do. So the chakra that's working with you this week is, look at that, solar plexus. Of course, with us talking so much about power and the Jaguar, you get solar plexus. The Worrier. I embrace my inner strength, power, and resilience, and I allow myself to shine. I unfold my full potential as an empowered person with a true sense of who I am. I grow in consciousness as I overcome and transcend life's challenges. I need the warrior inside me for the journey ahead, and I am courageous in moving forward. Exactly. You know exactly. You're not, yeah. You don't have anything to worry about. Everything is in divine order, so don't worry. And the law of Ma'at you'll be embodying this week is, I can be trusted. This is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. You can be. And this is for you to know that. You can be trusted, because tapping into the energy of your divine self and who you are naturally is tapping into the divine in you, the spirit in you, allowing spirit to work through you. You can be trusted with that. See that radiance that's coming off of that card? That card is charged. And then the Unicorn Oracle card that we have for you this day to bring in some healing energy is expansion, of course. Spread your spread your wings and soar. Share your message and shine your light. Show the world what you're made of. Exactly. I am so happy that you have Jaguar with you to walk you through the rest of this energy, because it feels very right. It feels very needed. It feels like for you, there needs to be that power, that big cat, like predator energy with you. And I love Jaguar so much. They're some of my favorite big cats. I love their big, stupid, boxy heads and such cool cats. So it's like, what? How can you get any better than this? You are expanding. You are spreading your wings. You're spreading your reach, because you're super, 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 extremely radiant, like an extremely radiant being. And there's just something you have to do in this life, and you just have a lot of work to do. As in, there's a lot of people here that need you. And it's just time for you to step into that knowing and trust that power that is in you, and stop delaying it. Stop delaying it, because over here with this eight of cups and this 5 of pentacles, you're just delaying it. You're like, oh, but people are gonna reject me, and this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen. You're delaying your own progress only because you're afraid of stepping into the power that you know is present within you. Because you know what happens when that happens. When you step into your power, things change, and you are afraid of that change. And this is why you're asked right now to be courageous and know that you yourself can be trusted. You have the world here. This cycle is done. This cycle is done, whether you want it to be or not. You're ready. So it's time for you to go ahead and move with the paces. You're not a victim to your power. You're the reason your power exists. So let's go ahead and wrap this up, group 4. Thank you so much for coming through and hanging out with my energy and my vibe today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, that's okay. Take what resonates and the rest will fall away. You are not obligated to hold on to absolutely anything that is not yours, you know? So I really hope to see you next time. And again, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and we'll be back next week. Bye-bye, group 4.